Hello to all of you wonderful moms out there. This is episode 30 of the Solve for Mom podcast. I'm your host, Anoki Kapasi. Well, if you're new to this show, this is a podcast where you get to find out how to reconnect with all the things that make you feel like you. And you're going to figure out how to get back to being who you want to be instead of just who you need to be. And I'm so glad that you're here. Do you sometimes look in the mirror and barely recognize the woman that's staring back at you? Maybe you're used to having big dreams and ambitions, but now you're just so consumed by daily mom duties that you can't even remember what used to light that spark inside of you. Or perhaps you're caught in that endless cycle of diaper changes and meal prepping and bedtime routines, and you're feeling more like a robot going through the motions than this vibrant person you know you can be. Well, today I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, and it's about getting back to your goals and dreams. This episode is especially for you if you're struggling to balance nurturing your family while reclaiming time for your own growth and joy. Trust me, I've been exactly where you are. I'm going to share my personal journey through that fog of mom life, and I'm going to show you how you can create a sustainable path forward that honors both your role as a mom and your identity as an individual. And that's why I'm going to provide you a proven path to getting back to your hopes and your goals and your dreams, even in this busy season of mom life. So get ready. This episode will help you connect with your ambitious, hopeful part of yourself that's been waiting to emerge. This episode is going to light a fire inside of you, I promise. Welcome to the Solve for Mom podcast. Do you love spending family time together every day but realize that your own interests have fallen to the wayside? Do you have a long list of things you wish to learn but you're so tired from trying to balance it all on your own and frustrated from not planning ahead to make it happen? Have you been mom for so long that you've lost track of who you are as an individual? Hi, I'm Anoki. I'm a PhD biomedical researcher, homeschooling mom, and life coach. I too poured myself into being a mom and thought I had to stop doing the things that I love to do. I was struggling to make time for myself, had lost my sense of direction, and kept second-guessing myself. I wanted to take back control of my purpose and passions, but I kept telling myself there'll be plenty of time for that later. Until I did what was natural to me. Using the methods of a scientist, I created plans to prioritize my values, organize my time, and take action towards my goals. If you're ready to go questing for your purpose, level up your learning, and confidently pursue your passions while still being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this complex equation we call life, it's time to sharpen our pencils and our minds and solve for mom. Before I start the show, I have a quick favor to ask, and it's going to take less than a minute. So I want you to pause and write a review for my show along with a 5-star rating. This is going to help my show reach other women like you, like one listener, Melanie, who wrote that Anoki understands your need for a creative outlet as a mom. She helps you find simple ways to carve out larger blocks of time and actually get started at projects that you are passionate about. Let Solve for Mom help fuel your creative genius. Thank you so much, Melanie, and I'm so glad that you're making it happen for you. See, we all have passions that are part of who we are. Those don't go away just because we become moms. So I really hope that this show has been a friendly weekly invitation for you to start thinking about what you can do for yourself with the bigger picture in mind, but also to give you tangible strategies of what to do. And your generous reviews help me create great content like the one you're about to hear. As moms, we still have hopes and dreams and aspirations in life, but how many of us actually set goals that we are passionate about and then have the discipline to achieve our goals? When we're constantly juggling parenting duties, household responsibilities, and trying to maintain some sense of balance and setting meaningful goals just seems like an impossible luxury. And when we do, we are so bogged down by the tasks that keep our days in motion. And it's no surprise that we don't really take steps to achieve it. And I know it's not because we're lazy. I know if you're listening to this podcast that you are a high-achieving mom that craves a plan and loves challenges. So I know that it's not even that we lack motivation or drive. It's because when you're dedicating all of your time and energy to raising your kids, it's challenging to reconnect with your own passions and interests. The question of where do I even start feels overwhelming when you're already running on empty. This is especially true for those of us who had thriving careers and clear direction before motherhood. without clear goals and a path forward that honors both our roles as moms and our individual identities, it can feel completely disorienting. I remember when I was in grad school and I was in this MD PhD program that took in students with the intention that the student would then pursue a career in academia. But once I was in and after a couple years, I started to see that some of my favorite professors were being denied tenure while others succeeded. And I think that they might have just been playing that game of academic politics better. I was watching my mentors work 14-hour days well into their 60s, and we were dealing with an unstable funding environment. I really, at that point, had to rethink my path. And the hardest part about that was that the following year, when I kind of was still in the midst of figuring out what I wanted to do, I just felt completely lost. I didn't have any clear goal for the first time in my life. With no game plan, I had no action to take. And so my confidence actually took a major hit. And once I had a plan and made a decision to enter scientific consulting, I gained back my confidence and I stopped feeling like a failure. And all of this happened even before I made a full transition into consulting. This was at a point when I had no experience in that kind of work, but just having the goal made all the difference. This is exactly where many of us goal-oriented women find ourselves in motherhood, right? We're immersed in this beautiful chaos of raising our families, but struggling to kind of see beyond that daily routine to envision a bigger future for ourselves. And you're really not alone in this. Because after 2020, I read that a third of working moms scaled back or left their careers entirely. And so like many of you, I reduced my hours dramatically to take care of my 2 young children. And while I cherished the stronger family bonds that I was able to create during this time, I also felt this familiar loss of identity. It was disorienting, and I no longer had this grounding of being a career-focused woman. I just ended up with this gaping hole in my identity, and I was left with this feeling of not understanding what exact path I was now on. And another interesting thing that I learned is that actually 71% of parents set goals, but those are usually for better parenting, which isn't a bad thing. But so much fewer set goals that are really just for themselves. I think that personal goals beyond parenting aren't just helpful. They're really essential in claiming parts of yourself and being able to grow. Having something to dream about and work towards energizes everything else in your life. It reawakens you mentally and physically and emotionally. Having a clear vision gives you purpose beyond that daily rhythm of diapers and paychecks and home management. And so I just want you to remember that being an amazing mom doesn't mean that your entire existence should revolve around your children's activities. In fact, I would argue that they need to see us living a full and balanced lives. You've heard me say this so many times because we're models for them. We can be there for them while still being true to ourselves. This is what real balance looks like. Not just juggling work and life, but, honoring all the different parts that make you uniquely you. So then the question becomes, how can you get back to your own goals and dreams? The first thing I'm going to point out is that your past achievements are part of your story, okay? Every mom I coach has accomplished incredible things. Maybe it was excelling at a sport or building a successful career or mastering a skill they loved. Yet, when they think about rekindling with one of their passions, they often tell me that they feel that they've lost the right to claim those as their own achievements. I just want to tell you definitively that your talents, your strengths, your skills and capabilities didn't just disappear when you became a mother. So stop feeling like a fraud because you want to dust off all those old hopes and dreams. Think about it this way. When you develop those skills and achieve those accomplishments, they became a part of who you are. If you're a professional or an expert at something and now you're hesitating to step back into your field or believe that motherhood somehow disqualifies you for learning something new for yourself, I want you to know that your expertise and your passions are still there. They're waiting to be reignited. And the evidence is clear and inspiring because I've witnessed many women transform from their pre-motherhood experiences into something that's more powerful, actually. I'm working with women who are launching their own businesses and they're blending their professional expertise, their parenting insights, and some of their passions. Others are returning to their career, sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time. And they have this renewed perspective and want to achieve a greater kind of success than they had before. So just to be crystal clear, your next chapter starts now, not when your kids are all grown up. your goals deserve attention today. And I know I've given a lot of career examples, but your successes really aren't just limited to career achievements, okay? What matters is reconnecting with the parts of yourself that make you feel alive, whether that's returning to a former passion or exploring something entirely new. You're not just allowed to pursue these dreams, you're uniquely qualified to do so because of who you are, both as a mother and as an individual. Another way to get back to your goals is to reconnect with yourself. I understand exactly how challenging it is when you're immersed in a daily routine. You're not just managing your home and orchestrating an entire household. Between the constant demands and endless tasks, carving out time for self-reflection just feels nearly impossible, I know. But before motherhood, you had a strong sense of direction and purpose. That formative transition into motherhood didn't just add a bunch of responsibilities, it changes your whole world and it changes your entire idea of success. And now you're in charge of ensuring your family thrives, you're coordinating schedules and preparing nourishing meals. You're maintaining your home and trying to keep it all organized while balancing your professional commitments. But while you're juggling a million tasks and your days are becoming a series of endless to-dos, because we know that all those little tasks do add up, before you know it, your whole life is gonna be about how much of your to-do list you can manage to finish. I don't think that that's what you're looking for in your life. Do you really want to measure your success based purely on how much of your to-do list you accomplish, rather than who you are as a person? You excel at taking care of others, but so often you're doing this at the expense of your own growth. But the truth is that understanding who you are and what you want isn't a luxury. It's really, really essential for both you and your family. I actually experienced this firsthand after my second child arrived. Despite the profound joy of welcoming our new baby, I found myself kind of caught up in this endless cycle of diaper changes and nursing sessions and laundry, and I felt more like an efficient caretaker than a vibrant individual. I used to be so peppy. And while I cherished these precious moments with my baby, I will never give that up, I couldn't ignore this persistent feeling that something was kind of missing. And so I'll be honest, that was a period of time when I basically devoted zero time to self-reflection. But here's what I've learned since then. Our aspirations and sense of self don't vanish. They are simply waiting for us to reconnect, right? And so even if you think you've lost touch with your inner compass or convinced yourself to put your dreams on hold, trust me, that spark is still there, and now is the time to rediscover it through intentional self-reflection and exploration. The journey for self-discovery helps you understand your authentic self. You connect with your own true purpose and values. Through this process, you're going to find yourself setting better goals that align with your vision and your values, not because of outside societal pressure, but these are goals that genuinely resonate with who you are. And you're going to be naturally motivated because of that. Wouldn't it be fun to be able to set goals that take into consideration your preferences and your strengths and all of your passions? And there's so many ways to engage in self-discovery. One of the best ways is journaling. Another favorite way for me is mindfulness. Sometimes I also sneak in meditation, and oddly, running is a super inward focused time for me. So I actually do a bunch of self-reflection and discovery during that time. And if all of this is resonating with you, if you're ready to stop feeling lost and start reconnecting with your authentic self, I want to invite you to work with me. My coaching program is designed specifically for busy moms and high-achieving women who want to rediscover their purpose and create meaningful goals so that you can start feeling normal, feeling like yourself. In just a 1-hour call together, we're going to uncover your core values and identify what truly lights you up and create an actionable roadmap to bring these dreams to life. And I work with you one-on-one actually so that I can ensure that you get personalized attention. So visit solveformom.com to get into my coaching program or click on the link in the show notes to learn more and schedule a call with me. The next thing is to find your true dream. You have a powerful drive to create meaningful impact. Whether it's transforming your own life or elevating your families or changing the world, you're meant for something extraordinary, right? You feel it inside of you. And this is where life planning becomes your secret weapon. It's not just another planning tool. It's your personalized roadmap that aligns your goals with your deepest values. It's going to unlock the joy and freedom that you deserve by connecting you directly with your passions and your dreams. And it's not like a traditional rigid plan. So life planning is a dynamic foundation that evolves with you. And it's not about following a strict formula. It's about creating a strong base that supports every aspect of your life, kind of like the foundation of a building, right? You want that part to be extremely sturdy and high integrity. So a really good life plan to know these things about yourself, your values, your vision, your priorities, passions, and purpose, all of those things are going to eventually make a great base for things like your goals and decisions and boundaries, because they all flow naturally from that foundation. Life planning is a tool that puts you back at the center of your own story. When you have clarity about these things, even simple tasks take on new meaning because you understand how they connect to your bigger vision. I was actually recently talking to somebody about this very thing, and she was telling me how building family connections is really important to her. But then doing mundane tasks like household chores just really sucks the joy out of her day. But when she kept that bigger vision in mind and she understood that even cleaning her home plays a role in this vision, now it went from a task that she disliked to becoming something that allowed her to create a welcoming space where her family could truly connect. And she realized that with a messy house, it's much harder to enjoy family time. Like, let's say she wants to read with her kids and snuggle up. Well, that's kind of difficult if every time you want to sit on the couch, you have to clear off a mountain of books. And I have something really fun to share with you. If you're ready to find out if life planning can transform your journey as an overwhelmed mom, then take my free quiz at solveformom.com/quiz. You're going to discover your unique path to achieving your dreams while balancing motherhood. The fourth thing is to master your time. Because as busy moms, one of our biggest challenges is finding time to prioritize ourselves, right? We're so time-strapped and dealing with a full schedule already. So who has the time to squeeze more out of our schedule? Honestly, that is not the solution. I don't want you to have to do more. Life is already overwhelming without having to fit more things into your day. And so creating goals is not about demanding more from you or taking more energy from you or adding another ball for you to juggle. I tried to do it that way, and it was an utter failure. It just made me feel like I was failing miserably at everything, and I was in a really bad mood all of the time. Instead, what I recommend is a more proven approach that's going to help free up both your schedule and your mental energy. So the key is identifying what truly matters in your life, your core values, your essential needs, and your meaningful goals. We're going to start with vision setting and life planning. And then you actually take a step back and zoom out and examine the bigger picture. I want you to get out of the weeds of your to-do list. And then after that, you zoom back in and start taking a look at how you are spending your day, time and energy-wise. This is a method where you can get a clear perspective and you can then naturally align your time and your energy with the activities that are going to advance your goals. And when you embrace this mindset, it's much easier to apply the focus funnel, which I've talked about before. You're going to confidently identify which tasks to delegate or reduce or even eliminate based on your values and vision and things like that. And this is how you create space in your life through intentional choices, not time management hacks. And the last thing I want to mention is that following your dreams is a journey, right? It's not a single event. I know that there are many times where overwhelm takes over. I don't want that to stop you from moving forward. I understand the temptation to stay in that planning mode or simply just dream about what's possible because there is this initial excitement of an idea and it can kind of feel like an accomplishment in and of itself. And I don't want to minimize that part of it, but at some point you do have to move forward. And I have a powerful framework called the goal journey, and it really transforms how people approach goals and vision setting in particular. Because the goal journey starts by establishing the right mindset even before you define your goal. You first ensure that you're mentally prepared to pursue your vision. And I have a whole episode on mindset before goal setting, which I linked in the show notes. But the goal journey is a process that flows naturally from mindset to idea formation, to goal setting, to goal planning, then taking action. You want to track your progress, have accountability, and then refine it all. I want to dispel a common myth. Adjusting your goal is totally okay, and it is not a sign of failure. Success means finding the right goal for you and defining it on your own terms. And sometimes you don't know what the right goal is, as good of a job as you may have done at the outset. And so once you put your goals into action, you might actually see the need to refine a little. I like to think of it as a scientific experiment, right? We form a hypothesis and then we test that hypothesis. But we're making observations and gathering data along the way. The next time around, we might actually have to modify our hypothesis and retest the whole thing. I don't think perfect attempts are required when you're pursuing your goals. I think anytime you get valuable information that allows you to adjust, that is an opportunity to grow and improve. And so, in a way, we're conducting the most important experiment possible, discovering our best selves. All right, Mama, it's time to wrap up. I've really been enjoying this heart-to-heart chat. I do know how tough it feels when you're lost during this precious season of motherhood, but I promise there is a bright light ahead, okay? My wish for you is that you can rediscover those sparks of passion and embrace the amazing woman that you are, both as a mom and as you, period. I shared 5 special tips today to help you reconnect with those beautiful dreams of yours. First, getting back to the things you love and trying new adventures doesn't make you an imposter. It makes you beautifully and authentically you. 2, take a moment to check in with yourself and let those dreams bubble up to the surface. That's through self-discovery. 3, life planning is your friendly guide to finding goals that truly light you up. When you make yourself a priority, and yes, you do deserve it, every little step you take brings you closer to your vision. 4, let's make time work for you by aligning it with what matters most. A quick time audit is going to help you pour your energy into what really truly fills your cup. And also remember, life planning can help at this point as well. It's really going to kind of become your best friend. And 5, my favorite part is the goal journey. This is where you really put things into action. So you can start with tiny steps, break down those dreams into bite-sized pieces and feel how doable it is. And it gets exciting every time you take a step. So you've got this, beautiful mama. I'll see you next week. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe and tell other ambitious mamas about it. Who knows, you might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. Thank you for making my show a part of your day. I'll see you next week for another episode of the Solve for Mom podcast with Anoki Kapasi.